A friend shared with me an article from the May 8th New York Times titled, "Christianity Gets Weird." The article explains some of the reasons behind the growing numbers of weird Christians. What are weird Christians? According to the author, weird Christians are disillusioned with the crisis of modernity, are now focusing on the manifestations of the beautiful and transcendent that can be found in the traditional liturgical rituals. Weird Christians reject spiritual emptiness by seeking a form of religiosity that offers a glimpse of the transcendent beyond the present. They reject churches that have watered down the stranger and more supernatural elements of the faith. There's a reality now in Christianity that is being called weird. Christianity gets weird. Weird Christians. And then the reality is, I guess in many ways, I'm a weird Christian. Because my faith goes beyond what I can just sense with my basic five senses. You know, the sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. My faith goes beyond that. And I think that's what we learn here on the Feast of the Ascension, where we hear in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 1, verses 10 through 11, while they were looking intently at the sky as he was going, suddenly 2 men dressed in white garments stood beside them. They said, "Men of Galilee, why are you standing there looking at the sky? Men of Galilee, why are you standing there looking at the sky? You're using your eyes. Why are you using your eyes to see the Lord? Why do you think you need to use your eyes?" Jesus promised in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, "Behold, I am with you always until the end of the age." Jesus knew that his promise was going to be fulfilled, that he was going to be with us always until the end of the age. But that presence with us is not something that can just be sensed with our 5 basic senses. But I like to refer to it as another sense, a 6th sense, the sacred 6th sense, a way that is available to us to experience God's presence deeper than just our basic 5 senses. Deeper. That's what weird Christians are looking for. They're not satisfied just with an intellectual approach to the faith that just deals with the head and deals with words. They're looking for something that goes deeper, that transcends the world, that transcends the world. And that's something that is really being sought right now when we struggle with the realities of what's happening in the world. For we know that God intended for there to be so much more, to be a presence with us. So how is this sacred sense described? Well, St. Paul describes it perfectly in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 1, verses 18 through 19. This sacred 6th sense, it isn't just the basic 6 senses of, sight and hearing and smell and taste and touch. He refers to this sacred 6th sense as the eyes of our heart, going deeper, to see with the eyes of our heart. So we hear in the letter to the Ephesians, "May the eyes of your heart be enlightened." That's what weird Christians are seeking, that they will sense the divine through the eyes of their heart. That's what it means to seek the transcendent, what goes beyond the basic, to something that's even deeper, to the eyes of our heart. And when we sense that presence of the divine through the eyes of the heart, this is what St. Paul promises us we will experience, that you may know what is the hope that belongs to his call. As followers of Jesus, we are a people of hope. No matter how difficult things may be, we are a people of hope. A hope that comes from deeper within us. That is a benefit of experiencing the divine through the eyes of our heart. And then we will receive what are the riches of glory in his inheritance among the holy ones. It's amazing. The wealth we receive goes well beyond the wealth of this world. The wealth that we receive through our relationship with the Lord will help profit us no matter how isolated we might find ourselves, no matter how trapped, no matter how limited by the things of this world. We tap into a riches that goes deeper. And that riches is a riches of glory that we inherit as one of God's holy ones. And then that favorite of mine that we will receive when we use this sacred sixth sense. And what is the surpassing greatness of his power for us who believe? There's nothing greater than this belief that we have. This surpassing greatness of what? His power. That's what we are being called to tap into with the eyes of our hearts. The eyes of our hearts. Because if we just depend on getting our power from this world, well, we're coming to discover there's some things we don't have power over in this world. There's some things that we have no control of in this world. But there's a power greater than this world. And we're being invited to use our sacred sixth sense, the eyes of our heart, to experience this now, when we have an opportunity to be freed of so many of the distractions of this world, to come to identify what is truly important, to see with the eyes of our hearts. So I'm going to invite more Christians to become weird Christians, to go beyond just the head and to start going deeper into the heart, to see with the eyes of the heart. May the eyes of your hearts be enlightened, that you may know what is the hope that belongs to his call, what are the riches of glory in his inheritance among the holy ones, and what is the surpassing greatness of his power for us who believe. May we tap in to that sacred sixth sense.